Hello and welcome to the video. This is my flight review of the AtomRC Eachine Killer Whale. Now this is something that I looked at a couple of weeks ago, and it has now been flown enough that I feel I'm in a position to actually talk about what it's like to fly. But before we get into the flying footage, let's talk about how I set mine up. Unfortunately, the manual is missing some key details, so AtomRC Eachine, if you're watching this, please make sure you include things like the throws for the control surfaces in any model you make from here on in. It just stops people having to guess and making a mistake. Now, I eyeballed mine, so the way I set mine up was 12mm deflection up and down on the ailerons. I did 15mm on the elevator, relatively small elevator. And I did about 13mm on the rudder, although you can probably get away with slightly less than that, probably 10 might be a better number. In addition, I also added a chunk of expo on the controls, so 20% expo on the aileron and the elevator, and a nice 15% on the rudder. Again, you can probably dial those down for a model like this. It's a very, very well-behaved flyer. To get those travels, I did use 60% on the OpenTX settings on my wireless radio, and that seemed to kind of dial it in to about the right level, and I would probably recommend that's not bad places to start. Centre of gravity appears to be spot on, so the little marks that are moulded under the wings is where I would go for. To get the centre of gravity right on mine, I had to use a 4000 4S milliamp hour LiPo pack. This is one of the Turner's ones, right up in the nose, and that was fine. Above that is the FPV gear. Obviously, if you add action cameras into the nose position or onto the tail, you're going to have to move the battery about significantly in order to get that CG right. The result of not having it loaded with cameras for the Maiden also meant that the weight was at the lower end of what was recommended. So mine was an all-up weight of about just over 1.3 kilograms, which means it is very floaty and will kind of just cruise around without any problem at all. So enough waffling on, let me go to the field and talk about what it's actually like to fly. So I travelled with mine with the wings detached and attached them at the field. Again, something I mentioned in my initial review, I would definitely glue something behind the little wooden supports that hold the connectors. It's too easy, if you're being a little bit rough, to push the connector back into the body. I think if this ever has a version 2, that's one of the key areas that needs a little bit of addressing. In terms of the flying, I need to say a big thank you to Adam, who's one of my flying buddies, who helped on the Maiden and also had a go of the plane as well over the last week or two. And mine doesn't have the landing gear on it, again, which is one of the reasons why it's only coming in at 1.3 kilograms with the flying battery. Loads and loads of power for takeoff. Lots and lots of static thrust from those two motors. It looks like you're going to need a bigger prop and a bigger motor on it. You absolutely do not need it. There's lots of static thrust and it gets in the air really, really easily. It was Adam reported that on the Maiden flight he was having to hold on to it rather than throw it in the air. So if you're worried that the props and motors looked a little small, that's absolutely not the case. However, that huge amount of static thrust, which is great for launches, does mean that it is not a speed machine. It cruises around in a very gentle, relaxed manner. Even at 100% throttle, it isn't particularly quick. In terms of the trimming that I had to do, there was a couple of clicks of trim to get rid of a bias to the left, a slight roll, but a couple of clicks of trim sorted that out. The thing that I struggled with initially was trimming the elevator. It needed to be up about 2 or 3 millimeters rather than in line with the control surface to have it flying in that natural attitude. So when you're setting yours up on the bench, if you're going to go like me and it's going to be pretty lightweight and you're going to have it on the CG marks, the elevator does need to be just up 2 or 3 millimeters for the maiden flight, and then you can trim it. Flying it, though, is a real surprise. It is actually lovely to fly. It's very easy to see line of sight because of the way that it's made, that twin tail and the way it's laid out. Although I thought initially it looked slightly goofy looking, I actually quite like the way this thing looks. And it is incredibly quiet too. Once it is over 50-60 feet, it gets really hard to hear. And that's really handy as well, because it means that you could fly it in places where noise would be an issue. Testing things like the stall is very gentle as well. There's no nasty tendencies here. This is a relatively high wing with a central gravity well underneath it. And the design of the wings does seem to make it so that it does just kind of push the nose over when it stalls. It is really, really forgiving and incredibly fun to fly. This would actually suit a less experienced pilot because it is so easy to see and because it's not constantly trying to bite you. Flaps are on the model, but to be honest, we didn't use them very much because it is incredibly floaty and we didn't feel like we had to. Takeoffs were very easy and the landings in particular were very floaty and it was easy to bring it in. The flight time from that 4000 mAh 4S battery is about half an hour. Extrapolating where the battery was when we brought it down, it gives us, I think it was about 28 minutes was the mean value for what we were calculating. Now that's pretty good out of a 4000 mAh battery, and this means that it is actually rather efficient when it is pootling around as well. Potentially lithium ion pack could go in here and also help with the cruising and potentially give you a longer flight time. Just be careful of the amp draw on takeoff. The only other comment I give about this was my flying weight of 1.3 kilograms, bearing in mind I don't have all of the cameras installed on this thing that it could potentially take, does mean that it is a bit floaty. You've probably seen it being pushed about by the slightly gustier winds at over about 20-30 feet around the flying field that we were using. A little bit of extra weight would probably help this model fly in a slightly more stable way in those windier conditions. So in summary, what do I think of it? Well, actually, I'm really quite impressed with this. I wasn't expecting to be. The initial impressions taking out the box and building it, there were lots of things that I wanted to tweak. But just flying it around, it is very relaxing and it's very pleasant. It's very quiet and very efficient, which means you can get a lot of flying for the battery that you've got in there. About half an hour from a 4000 mAh battery for a twin motor like this that has all the aerodynamics of a brick for the body is pretty good. Tons of power from those two motors and props for takeoff, but again, that lots of static thrust does mean that it isn't particularly quick, and there are no nasty tendencies in terms of the stalling characteristic. It is exceptionally well behaved. Tons and tons of room inside this if you wanted to put your cameras in it, to put a flight controller, all that kind of gubbins. There's loads of room for potentially a pan and tilt servo on the top if you wanted to have FPV head tracking. All of that stuff could go in here, and there is a little bit of thought about having auxiliary antennas for things like telemetry radios and stuff too. So if you wanted to turn this into more of an endurance explorer style model, that would all work, and with the longer flight times and the efficiency and the low noise, it's probably a good choice for that kind of flying. There are only a couple of things that I would change if I was going to build another one of these. First of all is to separate the throttle cables for differential thrust. That would help in the turns. I initially was thinking about also separating the aileron cables for things like crow, stuff like that. I don't think it's needed for a model like this. It is a floaty, very well behaved explorer that actually is really easy to land and very easy to take off as well. So you don't need all that wacky stuff in the control surfaces to be able to fly it. On mine, I would check the wing alignment. Again, one of my wings is slightly out of whack, which is maybe why I had to have a couple of clicks of trim for the weird aileron roll tendency that it had. But once that trim was in, it was working fine. And the last thing I would definitely do is to strengthen the connection of the tail, the vertical stabilizers on the tail to the horizontal stabilizer. It's just glued in, and both of mine have snapped off traveling actually to the field rather than at flight. So if I was going to have another one, I would probably reinforce it with some balsa and maybe a screw or two, just so that if it gets hit at the top, it doesn't immediately just separate the glue at the bottom. I found that hot glue was actually one of the best things for gluing the stabilizers on. I tried all kinds of different things, but that seemed to be the one that has given me the bond that's lasted the longest. Shipping from China from this seems to have been an issue. Unfortunately, that seemed to have happened between me ordering and getting it and then the first video coming out. I've sent a message to Banggood and they've replied saying they're hoping to fix that soon. So again, links below if you want to go and have a look at it. In summary, this was a very pleasant surprise. I didn't expect it to fly as nicely or to be as fun to fly as it was. If you added a bit more weight, maybe with a flight controller, bigger battery, maybe with a GoPro in the nose, an action camera in the tail, maybe pan and tilt FPV, this could be a very capable model. It'd be nice if it was a little bit cheaper. Feels a little bit expensive for what it is, but if you are looking for a twin motor that has all this room and capability for action cameras on it, then this Killer Whale is actually a really pleasant surprise to fly. Thank you for spending your time today watching that video. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you're trying to learn about a subject, then check out the playlist. All of my videos are organised into easy to follow playlists that if you're trying to learn a topic will take you from the basics right the way through to some pretty advanced stuff.